welcome back to Tilly Talks Tech, the podcast where we dive into the coolest innovations, the boldest ideas, and the people who are shaping our future. I'm your host Tilly, and today we're speaking to somebody I've been wanting to speak to for such a long time. What happens when a quantum physicist steps out of the lab and onto the stage? What if the partner in a ballet performance isn't human at all, but a robot? And what if the future of creativity isn't about choosing between art and science, but about fusing the two? This is the world of Dr. Merritt Moore, ballerina, scientist, and pioneer of human-robot collaboration. And today, she's here on the podcast. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Dr. Merritt Moore, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here speaking with you. I really am. I'm such a fan of yours.
Yay!
Sure.
No, we've literally just been having a whole debrief before I press record.
Yes.
This is long overdue. I was researching you and I've been following your stuff for the longest time. And quite frankly, I did not believe it. I was like, no way. You've got your PhD in quantum physics, but then on top of that, you're also like a ballerina, you're a dancer, and you've also danced with some of the world's leading ballet companies. And you've totally just fused those two things. Now you dance with robots, which is just completely mind-blowing. Would it sound that science fiction for your younger self? Were you planning on this life when you were younger?
Oh gosh, no. I mean, a confession of mine is I've been trying to just do one thing. And I've been trying to quit ballet for over 15 years now. Not been doing that successfully, but I have tried to quit many, many times. And
why?
It just a number of reasons. One is because I had really great mentors who cared about me, but they said what they believed was true, which was, if you want to be a great physicist, you need to stop the dancing and just focus on physics. And so I'd go to a ballet company and then be like, okay, now I'll be a good physicist and quit it. And then I'd be a physicist for a year. And then a ballet company would be like, you want to jump in? And I'd be like, I can't say no.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get drawn back in. But no, I mean, one, I never knew I could combine the sciencey side and dance together, because I care a lot about excellence. And I worried that if I tried to force them to come together, I would just bring the quality down. And then pandemic happened and couldn't dance with humans, but robots don't get COVID. So I was like, maybe a robot can be my dance partner. But I thought it was just going to be a couple month exploration until this pandemic ended. I didn't know that it would then be a profession that I'm paid to perform around the world. And then the professorship that I have at NYU Abu Dhabi is a result of it. So it's been super exciting, but no, exactly. If you told my younger self I'd be dancing with robots, I would have been like, huh, what? Who?
Was that not kind of exciting for your physicist brain? Were you, when you were little, were you wanting to be a ballerina or a physicist, or was it just something that sort of developed?
It developed. I started dancing late, so I was told I would never make it. So that was kind of a crushing thing as a teenager to experience, because I found something I loved so much and was told, don't even dream about it. And that was a hard one. And then physics as well. I had done 1 year, even just half a year in high school. And then I went to Harvard to study physics, where there's physics Olympiads and, people that have been really obsessed about physics. And so it was a little bit of, I really love this topic. It's so fun and exciting. I'll just take it semester by semester. And I was worried, I was concerned. I didn't know if I would make it, because everyone said it was really, really hard. And it is hard. But I was like, I'll just see how far I can get anyways.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
It worked out. And I hate that there's ever like people in your ear telling you can't do something. Like I had that my entire life as well. Like obviously like losing my hands and stuff like that. I think there was one time somebody came around to the house and they just like literally had like pen and paper, just had a list of all the things that I'd never be able to do. Just gave it to my parents. And they were like, well, she'll never do this, she'll never do that. You know, that's something we have in common. It's like you don't just take that, you know, even if it is going to be difficult, which let's be real, the topics you're talking about, like I did ballet, I think, what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks, you know, it's what you set your mind to, you know, and you've set your mind to physics and ballet. And now you've created this fusion, which like the world has never even seen before. And you get to travel around doing both of these things you love. Like I had no idea that's how it started, and you were late into it and people were doubting you like that, and I just feel like that makes it all the more inspiring. So I hope that you're proud of yourself and that you didn't quit on that. How do physics and dance connect for you? Did they connect at all, or has it always been this sort of like war one of the other?
Both, I would say. It was, you know, in the physics world, I did feel like I had to hide that I danced, because otherwise they would think I wasn't serious about the physics.
Really?
And in the dance world, I would try to hide the physics aspect, or even it, like on my CV, my dance CV, I maybe would put the
Really?
physics stuff at the bottom, but I would get called and being like, do you even like dance? Like, they're like, you did well, we like you, but do you like dance? Because you do this other thing. And so there were times where it was easier if I just hid it, so that people felt like I was serious about
Yeah.
physics or dance. But as I experienced both, I realized how much it did help each other. And I think there is this mentality that you're either born with the left brain or the right brain.
Yeah.
And I have this thing where I'm like, I have a feeling if we looked into everyone's head, everyone has both right and left sides of the brain. So like, and everything kind of requires both.
Yeah, exactly. God forbid a girl does two things at once. Like, no, we do sort of like fall into those like stereotypical boxes, and it's the same like male and female, like women in STEM and stuff like that. It's like such a small number. I've been enjoying interviewing these people so much because people like yourself merging those things. Like I was talking to another fashion tech designer, and she's like making defensive fashion and like fashion that defends women, and another woman who was making like false eyelashes and like secret signals and hair extensions so you could like ask for help if you're in danger and all these things. And I'm like, this is what happens when girls are in STEM. Like amazing things come out of this, you know. But one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because, like we say, you're blending like creativity and technology in like such a unique way, and you've actually choreographed performances with industrial robots as dance partners. I'm just dying to know, how on earth do you even do that?
Well, at first it started as an experiment, right? An exploration. And the robots I started with and mainly dance with at the moment are these collaborative robots that have these different joints but don't have arms and legs. There was something that I liked about the non-humanoid form to start with, because as a dancer, I think I like to research and explore and experiment with movement. And for me, it was very fascinating. If you took away arms and legs and just had this form, can you still emote emotion? Can you still communicate? Can you still create something that's elegant and beautiful?
So when was actually your like first performance? Like how did you get discovered and slotted on a stage to do this?
Oh gosh, it was great and lovely and intimidating at the same time. So I'd been posting on social media during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And those videos were going viral and doing quite well. And then America's Got Talent reached out as my first performance live, like on a stage. And
wait, was it America's Got Talent?
Yes. So I got yeses from all the judges, which was amazing. But they choose a few out of the yeses to then go on to the next level. And so mine didn't air, but that experience was incredible.
How did yours not air?
You know, the nature of everything. Yeah.
That is crazy. That shocked me. Because that's totally a video that would get them like 1 billion hits on YouTube. That's crazy.
And I guess actually like I had a mini showing at Harvard Art Lab like a little work in progress showing. And then, and then there was more performances. And I mean, this week I'll perform in Dubai, GITEX, and then the next day for prime ministers in India. So I know,
What?
I'm just here for the ride. I'm just here for
Oh
the
my
ride.
goodness.
Real time on stage for a big show, I experiment a little bit with, but I don't know if you face the same problems of like in large settings, like the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and
Yeah.
technology has its own personality. It gets
Oh my
stage
goodness.
fright. It does not
That
want
was
to work.
literally the topic of the next segment. All of a sudden, you're about to go on stage and there's like all these malfunctions and it's like, what the heck? I've never seen this before. What is going on? I was going to ask if there was ever an actual like scenario, anecdote that you had where the robots weren't behaving, like they went off track.
Oh gosh, yes. There was one instance, well, we were trying to use these gloves to also give me new gloves to connect and create music and ideally then get to a level where I could communicate with a robot with the gloves.
Ooh.
I was in this circular space and everyone with their phones and the gloves were like, no, not today. We just not in the mood to work.
No. What do you do in that situation?
That situation, I just had to cut that section. Thankfully, I had different sections. So we just cut them. I was like, okay. At the AI for good, the robot was not turning on. I was just not happy. And but then it decided to turn on 10 minutes later. Like everyone then, the backstage crew crowded around it and was like, that robot obviously just needed attention. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, we're ready to go.
So what's the biggest challenge in teaching a robot to dance?
For me, the hardest part is the timing, is getting everything to work with the timing of the music in a way that resonates with people. Because music, if it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, like people would get bored right away. But the beautiful thing that makes people feel and get drawn to music is the syncopation. So if you anticipate the count and then you're delayed on the count, and there's so many different sensations, you start to feel something when the timing's not perfect, but not awkwardly off. So for me, there's then the artistic aspect of really sitting down and being like, oh, are we going to elongate this part and then speed it up and create that tension within the movement. And that part is, I think, the most important part. And the reason why I like being the artist and the programmer, because if I were going to tell a programmer, okay, we're going to spend 7 hours on 15 seconds to get the timing just right, they would want to shoot me. You need the artist to do it because we're so passionate about it. Like the details matter.
Yeah, it sounds like you like really adapt. You're really adaptable and you adapt to the robot a lot more. Like part of me thought you were like programming it and it was like this script and the robot's very much like mimicking you. But it's really interesting to hear the way that you're talking about the actual connection and how sometimes some of the ways the robots move, like that inspires your movements. You said you work with robots who, I say who, like they are people. To me, they are people. They don't have like limbs. They obviously don't look like humans. And I found that really interesting. Do you think that in the future, that's how it's going to develop and they are going to be like human-like bots? Or do you think it's going to be how it is right now? And we can actually experiment with like other shapes and things, because people ask me the same question when it comes to prosthetics. You know, I've always said I like the design to look like a bionic hand rather than like a realistic looking hand. But then they say, okay, but it's still 5 fingers on a palm. Still a hand like that. Why don't you have it like, you know, look completely different? And is that something that people watch your shows and they think you're striving for? Or is it more interesting to play around with these different shapes, and does that trigger more inspiration?
Yeah, so interesting. And brings up so many questions I have for you. I think it's limiting just to think about the ideal robot looking like a human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think there's so many cool ways that we could design these robots to inspire us and look funky and cool and more like a Star Wars world. Like,
we're on the same page.
Yes, I'm like, give these robots personality, please. Like, guys, I have much more fun working with designs and hoping to create more robots that are more unique and cool in that sense. Yeah, the silicon robots that look human. I get that it's popular, but I'm just like,
can they dance though? Have you tried dancing with one of them?
No, they can't. They can't dance.
No, they can't.
No,
See,
no,
they're limited. We need them to look crazy.
You're like, oh, if it's gonna be bionic, like why not it be cool and fun? Do you have thoughts about 5 fingers versus, I don't know, a different shape or totally different form?
100%. I'd be so down to like try out different things like that. I thought I was thinking outside the box by just not having them silicon and skin colored, but actually that's just like the top of the box. The possibilities are actually endless. You could have 8 fingers. You could have, I know a guy who's like a chef, lost his hands, was a chef, so his hands are just knives now, and he's chill with that, you know. So it is really cool. And like we've got the Hero Flex now, which is like an activity arm, and they don't look like hands. I wanted to play the drums, and when I was thinking about that, I was thinking, oh, I need a hand to be able to like play the drums, and I need the bouncy wrist, but I need that in a hand shape. No, you don't. No, you don't. And on the end of that arm now, for people who want to play the drums using these prosthetics, it's literally just like a little tube thing. And then it's just like a long ass stick, like it's a drumstick, you know? You don't need all that additional weight. Like not only is it quicker to produce, but it's lighter to make that bouncy wrist maybe even better than a human wrist, because you're not getting arthritis, you know? So yeah, I think that will be the future. People need to stay up to date with you because you are literally like jet setting here, there, and everywhere all the time. I absolutely love it. But yeah, the coolest part is like you're doing what you love, and you've combined these 2 things which you were passionate about. What were people's reactions like? The first crowd and the audience that you performed this to, did everyone think it was like as cool as me? Did they think this is really cool? Or some people were like, oh my goodness, there's robots dancing, what do I do with this information? Like obviously you've been super successful and you've done so many shows since, so I assume it was all positive. But what was that like initial reaction like? Because you, like you said, you're doing something completely new that people have never seen before.
Such a good question, because it's such a mix of emotions, I think.
Really?
And you might, I don't know if you get the same kind of reactions, but I think people have a really guttural emotion towards technology. Sometimes, like if it's gradual, there's no problem. But I think sometimes when it's something totally brand new, sometimes there's this reaction of excitement, like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. But also sometimes there's this reaction of fear.
Yeah.
One of the biggest questions is, am I trying to replace humans?
Of course.
And for me, that's never, I love my human dancers. I love humans. And it's been interesting for me, but my most vulnerable and intimate performances have been with the robot.
Really?
Because I get to explore things that are very personal. So if I dance with a human, I see that human, I hear that human, I feel that human. I'm dancing with that person. But when I dance with the robot, it allows me to go to a place where I'm dancing with my personal memories. I'm dancing with hopes, dreams. You know, I get to dance with people that very special to me that may have passed away, and I get to communicate with them. Whereas if I'm dancing with someone else, it's hard for me to go to that personal, very deep place. It's not that I can't get to those deep emotions, but it's different. It's not really like a memory per se. And so that's why it's been so interesting dancing with the robot. It's kind of a means of communicating what I want, in the sense that when the camera was invented, painters freaked out and were like, oh my God, like no one's gonna like us. But we still love painters, and camera became this tool that was now their outlet for human expression.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't think of it like that, because like people think, oh yeah, the robots are coming, the AI is coming, and that's gonna mean there's less connection. But if you're connecting in the dance more to the robot because it's kind of, I guess, intrinsic and it's like personal, then that's really interesting perspective, and probably something that you wouldn't expect, you know? So for the people who are scared about it and stuff like that, what would you say to them?
Oh, I think, where I resonate with you is also, I think there's this element of, there's very cool technology coming, but it's also a means of being able to express the human side even more. So I'm really interested in amplifying human potential, human creativity with this technology. When I'm working with the robots, like I'm really interested in having them being expressions of a human dancer or a human artist, or like bringing out the more human side. Like when I see your bionic hands, I was like, oh, like I want to meet the person who designed that. Like when technology is more than function, like I don't want to live in a world that feels like a factory. I want to live in a world that's like inspired by human artistry and personality. And I think we need to have these conversations, because I do believe we're at a crossroads, right? And we need to have the conversation now, because yes, like as you can see, technology, robots, bionic hands, like they can be purely functional, or they can be functional and artistic and fun and bring excitement and inspiration. Yeah. So that's where I'm like, oh, we really need to have this conversation and emphasize the personality and the artistry in this technology, if that's the future we want to live in.
Yeah, I like the future you want to live in. It sounds colorful. But yeah, like I've been there like with prosthetics too. It's like, as you can see behind me, we've got loads of colors now. And it's proper quirky and it's proper fun. We speak for more than ourselves when we're talking about this, because the amount of people who now wear their like rainbow bionic arms and their Marvel and their Iron Man and Spider-Man arms, and it sparks such joy across the world, and it sparks conversation, and it's making more and more people more accepting of this sort of technology, because they're seeing that it can make a real impact. We can actually like accentuate all these things that is actually like intimidating people, and when it's shown in this like beautiful light and spark of joy and conversation, I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and so important. And it doesn't diminish the humanness of it. It amplifies it. Like I saw you lighting up so much when you're like, yeah, like when I got to paint my nails and like the glitter and all of this, like, right? It brings that out. And for some reason, I think with like technology, science, boring, like black and white, and then create it's like, can we let's combine them a bit.
Let's blend them.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree. I'm loving this conversation, because we're talking about more creatives stepping into the world of like STEM and robotics. You know, we're making it right now. So the more creative input, the more colorful the future can be. What are your like now projects and future projects? I feel like you're a little bit like me, where you've got so much going on and you just go with the flow, you know, and whatever happens. But is there anything that you're really excited about that you're working on now that you can plug, or anything that we need to look out for?
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. I just joined the Ballet d'Opera de Nice. I'm so sorry for anyone who speaks French. I butchered that completely. It's a ballet company in Nice, France.
Yeah, she's not quitting.
I'm still in it. I'm now there. So I'm having such a fun time still, like as a professional ballet dancer. And I'm still a professor teaching a robotics course, a creative robotics course at NYU Abu Dhabi, and then creating a startup at the moment that I'm super excited about. Yes. And yeah, those are the 3 things that are keeping me quite busy. And then these robot performances, which are...
Do you have any coming up that like people can get tickets to? Is it more VIP?
Yeah. Well, there's Dubai, India, and well, I'll keep you posted. Yeah, they tend to be not public events that people can get tickets to, but sometime in the future.
I can see that in the future, you know, like street performances, and it's just like us dancing with robots. Dr. Merritt Moore, you've been a gem. I'm so excited I finally got to talk to you. You seem like a fictional character. Like you're a ballerina, you're a professor, you're doing all these things. And I love all like the creative juices. We definitely need more of that in the tech world. And just in case anybody doesn't want to follow your story, where can we find you?
It's Merritt Moore, my name, Merritt Moore, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on website. Yeah, it's just Merritt Moore.
Yay! Perfect. Thank
Lily,
you
you've
so
been
much.
incredible. Girl, we're going to be lifelong friends. I've decided.
Yay!
You've just got this wonderful spirit, and I'm so excited for everything that you're doing. Really, truly.
Oh my goodness.
So
You're my
away.
Favorite. Like, I'm literally such a fan. Thank you so much. You've been a gem. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what you do in the future. And we will definitely hang out.
We'll hang out next time.
Bye.
You do. Bye.
She's so cool. Dr. Merritt Moore, everybody. She is just one of a kind. Do you know what I mean? Like, she feels like somebody I would write up in a book. And also, she's so sweet. She's so sweet. It's really interesting to think about robots having a more human touch, because I feel like in recent conversations, that's she just texted me, "You're so good at hosting." Oh, yeah, it's really interesting thinking about giving robots more of a human touch, because obviously in recent conversations, it's kind of been something that people want to avoid for fear of robots replacing humans. But what if the robots can be fun and human-ish? What if they can just help us make a more positive future? We are training all these models at the minute, so it's an interesting thing to think about. Like Merritt said, I think we encourage more creative people into this space, you know? See how you can use it to your advantage. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Tilly Talks Tech, or watching. If you're on YouTube, you will have saw some really cool clips of ballerina robots. If you're not on the YouTube and watching, I definitely recommend you come and check it out, because you get some cool visuals on here. If I do see some myself, I do also edit it all myself. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of Tilly Talks Tech. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Recommend it to a friend. Let me know who else I need to get on the podcast, and I will see you all next time.